Hey everybody, so one of my favorite gigs to have is writing music for live theater. Recently I got this really cool opportunity to work on a show called Tinkerbell. It is basically Peter Pan from Tinkerbell's point of view. What's really cool about it is that the music is kind of already written. They gave me sheet music and everything right here. So my job is to record and arrange some tracks for the show. And I'm really excited. I've never heard the music before. I've never seen this particular show, so let's dive into it. So I'm in my Logic session here. It's a totally blank slate. I'm gonna load up my favorite piano VST to start, Keyscape, and we're just gonna plunk some notes really quick. Cool. We'll quantize all of this. Let's do another track and record the bass line. Cool, so that's what the whole thing sort of sounds like. So I'm going to do a couple things. First, I'm going to copy all this over because I'm not really sure what the tempos are supposed to be. So I'm going to leave this as it is sort of slow. And then this one, I'm going to drag a bit faster. Maybe not that fast. Down to 55, let's say. Yeah, cool. And then this one can stay slow. So I'll leave that the way it is. And now I'm going to start fleshing out like the instruments I see. One, I think I will give them just a piano track as well. I think those are cool. I think it's fine. And I don't want to make this super crazy. This is going to be under dialogue, so it should be pretty simple. So let's start adding some instruments. Ooh, let's do oboes. So what I'm going to do is just drag this down here. Open it up, make sure it's just playing the melody at all times. Okay, so yeah, I can't even play anything besides that. Beautiful, and this should still be the same. Now, what I think I'll do is let's add another track. This is just going to be a default patch. I know in the show that there is accordion, so I'm going to add an accordion to make it sort of fit in the physical world. And same thing, I'm just going to drag this hand down here, and I'm going to turn it way down. And maybe take it down. I love that for my melodies. Let's get a string section in next. And I think what I want to do is like a pizzicato something or other. I think that would be a lot of fun. Let's do some cellos then. Can never go wrong with cellos. Perfect. And we'll drag this down. Now I'm going to double click on this. I'm just deleting all of the sustain data because that sometimes is janky with what it means. Oops, there we go. So now it is just reading the notes as themselves instead of the score from the piano. And now hearing it, I think the accordion needs to be a little bit more slurred through the notes, so I'm going to adjust that. maybe a little less. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with this accordion. It's not blending the way I want it to. Maybe we'll start with a little EQ to figure it out. There we go. And now we can bring that volume up a little bit because it's not in the way of the oboe. Nice, okay. Now I'm wondering if we duplicate this and bring this up and bring the whole thing up, if that's gonna add or take away. Oh yeah. That's sick. I love that. Maybe with the piano. Yeah, I'm actually really digging that. So now we'll take all of that and just move it over to the faster tempo. Cool. I'm digging that. I think it's great. So I think I'll do two versions. One will be just piano. And then one will be... Oh, that's right. I do want to fix this automation first. We will do latch, I believe. And it will be modulation. And we're recording this. Cool. Now I'll do the same thing. Now we have just some more realistic sounding instruments, as real as we can get right now. So now I'm going to start playing around with actually fitting all these instruments together, which is going to be a lot of fun. So first I'm going to take out these and have everybody hooked up to the same sort of things. We'll say short verb, long verb, delay. This is officially where I also start my like mixing mindset. I have the VSX Steven Slate headphones and I will be using those. I don't know how it'll sound over in YouTube, but this will help me get a good idea of what it actually sounds like. Yeah, already sounds so much different. This is a pretty standard setup. So each effect, each reverb, I'm going to put an EQ curve on it, just cutting out the lows and the highs because that sort of muddies up the mix. For reverbs, I always use Sound Toys. Little Plate is one of my favorites because it's very, very simple. It's just a couple dials. Yeah, I try not to overthink this because I can get really lost in the mixing. I'll just sort of do what I think feels good or sounds good. Then for delay, Echo Boy Jr. is a go-to for me. The mix is all the way up because we're feeding it in, and then I like a lot of saturation on it. Okay, so we already have an EQ on the accordion. The thing is, I really don't like to mix digital instruments that much. So I might take down okay, cool. Then I might hear these two together. Yeah, just cleans it up a little bit. And then these are sort of already panned a little bit too, so I'm not really going to touch the panning at all either, which is cool. So let's hear it with the oboe right now. And we have plenty of headroom, so I'm not afraid to turn this up or down or anything. Cool. What I do like to do sometimes is I'll use a specific thing, DX solo, which is like a spreader kind of, and I just really like the way it sounds. So here it is on the accordion before. And that even more so just sort of gets it out of the way of the oboe. I'm actually not digging it too much. So I think I'll leave it off. And that's sort of what you got to do, just trying things out. So I'm hearing the oboe is a little to the left, so I'll pan this a little to the right. That sounds good. Let's add some of our buses to it, some of these reverbs. The oboe, I'm going to add some delay to it. Whenever I hear the effect working, I always turn it down a little more. I love that. And I'm thinking what I might do is track stack these and sort of mix these as their own kind of thing, like just the piano track, because I'm going to balance everything to the instrument tracks. So I don't want this sort of getting in the way of that. So now that I've got my sort of rough mix down, now I'll start doing things to the whole mix. So I'll just loop a section. Actually, let's go. So like I said, if I'm mixing digital instruments, I usually try not to do too much because they're already sampled. The only reason I would EQ them a ton is to make them fit with each other, but they sound pretty good. It's pretty minimal. Cool. That's all just for some glue. After that, I like to use my Slate Digital Virtual Mix Rack. This, I think, gives it a lot of sort of analog sounding tone, which is super cool. So pretty much I will throw this on always. So this compressor introduces some like digital artifacts which emulate the analog, which I really like. Cool, that's all sounding good. I will hit this with some saturation next. I'm thinking right now maybe I need a little bit more bass, but I also am not totally sure. Now, even with, actually, let me check this out really quick. Yeah, I tend to not have as much bass as I should, so I think that'll help a lot. Let's jump over to the fast version. Yeah, okay. I'll leave it. I decided to take the bass lift off because it was muddying up things. So again, continuous trial and error. Then the next thing I'll do, even though these are digital instruments, just to make sure everything is blending super together, mixed well, tucked in, I'll add some Soothe too. And let's see, mastering. Okay. I'm digging that, actually. I like that a lot. Cool. I'm periodically checking just on my speakers out here to make sure everything is, fine. Last thing I'll do is I'm just going to add a limiter, make sure we're not clipping at all. I'll see sort of where we're at, so I can get away with a good amount. Cool. And that's going to be pretty much it for the instruments on this one. So one more last listen to the final thing. Cool. So I am happy with that one. That is one track down, and there's one more to go. So I'll bounce these out, and then we'll get into it. I almost forgot we have to do the piano tracks too. So for this, I'm going to turn all of this off because this was specifically for the other instruments. We'll turn these on. And I already pretty much, like I said, these are digital instruments. I don't want to do much to them, especially because it's just piano. What I will end up doing, however, is I will be sending this to these buses, a little bit of delay, and a little bit of cinematic reverb. Cut out the lows. I found that when you're working with just one instrument at a time, a VST, getting as much sort of analog-y sound as you can is really strong. It makes it feel better. Okay, I'm feeling a little drowned by this bass right now. Did I pan these? Yeah, I think I want to pan these less. Cool, we love it. I'll add some more Soothe. Just a tiny, tiny touch. I think I'll leave it in the default too. Just in case I'm missing anything that's sticking out, and then we'll throw a limiter on it. And I think that's totally fine. So we'll export these now. If you're enjoying this, my breakdown of how I'm writing music or how I'm sort of thinking about the tools I'm using in a creative sense, let me know in the comments. I'd love to keep the discussion going, or if you want me to go in depth on anything else that I'm not talking as much about, let me know. Every aspect of what I'm doing really interests me, so if anybody else wants to hear it, I'd love to talk about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the second track in this same space because it's already mixed the exact same way. But there is a lot of lag going on, so I'm going to turn everything off. So this next one, Tinkerbell's Motif, which is very exciting. So that was a little crazy. So we've got that. What I'm also thinking is this sounds a little weird, just like piano and to the track. So I'm going to play it once without any metronome, and it's going to be great. So we'll turn the metronome off. We'll turn the click off, and we'll just record a little bit. Cool. So I think that'll do exactly what we need it to. Let me turn off this now so all the effects work again, hopefully. And this is super full open. Maybe a little less velocity on all these. Same thing here. Heavy-handed, I guess. And what I'll do is I'll move this one over. I will duplicate this one and also make it a faster one to give them a lot to work with. So now we'll start bouncing them out. Motif, slow, and we'll start bouncing. And that's pretty much it. So that's my process of taking something that's written and sort of translating it to not only something that is musically cohesive, but something that would also play well on stage. I try to keep in mind nothing too bass boomy, nothing that's going to distract a ton from any dialogue that might be happening underneath it. And of course, they always have the ability to turn things louder and softer as needed, but I try to keep everything at a pretty reasonable volume. So yeah, again, if you like this video, interacting with it is the best way to spread it to more people. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, I'd love to talk about them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.